Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing okay today. Thank you for joining the live for Heart and Hustle Houston. And I apologize. I had to, at the last minute, change the time to 2:45 from 2:30. So everyone that was able to come in during this time, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. This is a and Heart and Hustle Houston. And this was a great episode. Another great episode from these ladies. And I appreciate everyone that was able to come in during this live. Okay, so we're going to start out with Latoria. We find out so much more about Latoria in this episode. This is Latoria's episode. Latoria finished up at Clark Atlanta. 2 years out of college, Latoria started her career in public relations, and she started a company called Lemon Lime Entertainment. And now she has 9 employees. So Latoria Lemon is really impressive. We start with her setting up a Sweet 16. That's 16 in the public relations business. She has pulled in Chloe along with a couple of her employees that she is working with. Tay, I think she said Tabitha. She said they sent the run the show. I guess that's just kind of information about what the event is going to be and details. So Chloe switched. It was funny. Chloe just switched. She's like, okay, we're going to go from business to personal. Let's talk about you. And Latoria flipped the script really quick. Latoria is good for that. Latoria likes to listen rather than share. So she said, no, let's talk about you. So Chloe, who doesn't mind talking about herself, Chloe ends up confiding about Nico and everything that had been going on with her and her son, Nico. If we remember over the past few weeks, what is happening with Nico is that Nico is not happy about Chloe dating someone that's only 4 years his senior. So he finds it, as he put it, weird, and he's kind of embarrassed about it. And Chloe she's navigating that. Her and Nico are going through a tough time. Okay, there we go, y'all. Thank you. That's Chloe right there in the middle in the cream sweater dress. Let's just start before I get going again. We have LeBrina to my far right, the beautiful LeBrina. She is in the dark brown dress. We have Ro with the curly long hair, and she's wearing, looks like hoops in the brown dress. Chloe is in the middle in the cream. Latoria is in burnt orange. Again, this is her episode. We have Alaina. We're going to see a big episode from Alaina as well, right above me. And then right above me and under my brand is Muneera. So this was a really good episode again. And let's go back to where we were talking about Chloe is confiding again in Latoria about Nico. She said something crazy in the confessional, y'all, that we have talked about. She said, I didn't know that my kid would still need me. I thought it ended at 18. So I'm like, Chloe, what? So I don't know. I think maybe that's just our community. We saw where LeBrina's dad said he thought kids could leave the house at 18. So I'm so glad we're getting out of this get it out of the mud type thing, because that's crazy to me. 18 to me is still a baby. So Chloe's talking about Nico. She's so glad they had this conversation so that they can move forward. Chloe was telling Latoria how excited he is about his music career. He doesn't even have a plan B. He just sees himself being able to be successful. He wants to be a rapper. We also found out he likes to write and produce. So Latoria is interested. Chloe says she didn't even realize that Latoria is a resource. I love the way that Latoria jumped into it and was so happy because she is connected. She mentioned Lil Flip. He has a record company. She mentioned you never know who might stop by one of her parties. Slim Thug has been a client. So this is excited for Nico. And Chloe is excited that she's going to be able to help her son with this. She said Nico has to attend this party. Confessional Latoria gets in her confessional. She says Nico has to attend this party. So Chloe says she didn't even think about it until she stepped in that room with Latoria. The space was really nice. It has like they call it an immersive experience. Disney is good for that. You'll go into a space and then the walls will turn into, let's say if you were looking at a night sky, it would be lit up with stars and planets and things like that. So it's really gorgeous. And Chloe compliments her on the space. They are excited about the work they're going to do together. And I was glad to see a redemption arc for Nico. I never thought anything bad about Nico. I knew he was struggling. I knew they were grieving and suffering as a family. I was concerned that the first scene we saw with Nico was him in conflict with Chloe, and his career was not being talked about in a positive way. So this is amazing for this episode. I'm so happy that in this episode they get a chance to redeem that a little bit. So we get the next scene on my favorite reality show location, the Will and LeBrina ranch. They are out there at the ranch. Will is asking LeBrina, how's the spa going? He's joking that he just started his good skin journey. I don't believe it. I can't tell. Both of them are shining. They moisturize. So Will asks about Pop. LeBrina is saying that she wants Pop to stay on task no matter where his location is. We find out that the 15-year-old Pop has decided he wants to spend time between his mother's house, LeBrina, and his dad's house, meaning his biological dad. So during this conversation, in the confessional, LeBrina's telling us we miss Pop when he's not here, and I want him to be able to stay on task. And Will's talking about the transition. As boys get a certain age, they are going to want to be around their biological father, if he's there for them to be able to be around. So this was a really heartfelt, heart-to-heart conversation. We get Will, Pop walks up. So they talked him up. He walks right on up. He walks up. Will ask him, why did he want to split time? Because he never saw himself as a step-parent. So we find out in the confessional with LeBrina that Will looks on Pop as if he's his own son. So Will's feelings were a little hurt that Pop wants to spend some time with his father, wants to spend time with his dad. So I love the communication between them. Will was even pouring out his heart that when I was putting aside investments for you to go to college, after you left, I was feeling like, well, what did I do that for? So Pop, he spoke just as a 15-year-old boy. He said that he felt like he couldn't do anything right. He just felt like he's causing problems over here, causing problems over there. He just wanted to split time between the two of them to make it easier on everybody. He felt like he's a burden. Y'all, that hit me in my heart. It hit LeBrina in her heart too. She said she don't ever want him to feel like he is a burden. He's not a burden. They love him. They miss him when he's not there. We get a confessional from LeBrina saying that hurt her because as a child, she came up feeling like she might have been a burden, that she can't do anything right. And then when we saw a few episodes before of her mother and father and the fact that they feel like at 18, she can be kicked out, and actually was asked to leave the home at 19 with a small child with Pop, on her hip. So this is good for LeBrina. She's breaking generational curses. This is really important. Will says, we love you. He asking for a hug. Pop gets emotional, thanks to the cameras who did not zoom in his face. But I could tell he was emotional. Will even said, it's all right to be emotional. So that was really good. LeBrina hugs Pop too. So they got a sweet family hug from all of them. Next, we have Latoria. She is out at another Houston restaurant. Yeah, I love the way when this comes on, they show a lot of Houston scenes. They show the city looking beautiful, lit up really pretty. You'll get the name of what the restaurant. So Houston, there's over 2 million people in that city. This could be the number one show on OWN easily. And I would love that for them. I'd love that for them. So Latoria's ordering a tipsy pickle tray. She asked the server what makes it tipsy. The server talking about you have to see. I'm like, what? You're supposed to know what's in this. So they all look cute. They all show up together in their dresses. They teasing Chloe because her dress was a little long. Chloe was still sexy though. Her dress is a little long. They were saying something about first lady, so that was funny. We find out from Ro that Ro quit Victory. This was teased episodes ago. We saw her sit down with the owner. She's spoken of being overworked. She said she finally had to leave. We get Ro in a confessional saying that the support from her sisterhood, she's viewing these 6 ladies that she's developing these relationships with, their support help her decide to follow what is best for her, because she knows that in the very near future, she wants a husband. She wants more children. Sophia's at a critical age. She has to nurture her some more. So this is a good decision for Rose. She finally ended up quitting, saying, she could find another job or start another situation somewhere else because she's done it before. She can do it again. She said that when she bet on herself, she never lost, and that's good to hear. She says that the sleep that you get after just quitting everything and betting on yourself will be the best sleep that you ever had. So Latoria starts to talk about her date with Mr. Banks. Ro was funny. She asked what was wrong with him. Latoria is forever public relations specialist. She said he was a nice older man, but not for her. There's nothing wrong with him. He's perfect for somebody. And it comes up that Mr. Banks doesn't want more kids. Mr. Banks' daughter is 31 and Latoria is only 35. So they got the same age difference as Chloe's man and Nico. Look at that. So this is not the man for her. So Chloe advises don't automatically put men in a friend or a brother category. Be open. Latoria says she is open. I think she is open too, especially what we'll find out later during her Sweet 16. So confessional Chloe. I know Chloe always like to go a little step too far. She starts telling Latoria what she needs, which includes somebody that doesn't like horses. And then she references her back blown out 3 to 4 times a day. Chloe, when do you work? That take a lot of time. So then we get all of their phones ping at the same time. It was funny. They're getting an invitation from LeBrina. So she wants to take the ladies, all of them, all 6. None of this married, single business. They're all going to be together. They're going to a local Black-owned winery. It's in Chapelton, Texas. And then Latoria bites into a hot pepper. See, this is why that server should have told her what was in it. So the ladies were kind of checking on her. She was losing her breath a little bit. And then she said, I bit into a hot pepper. I thought the whole tray was pickles. So they're laughing. The next scene, we see Latoria surrounded by a lot of beautiful women. She tells them she is celebrating her sweet 16 years in public relations business of lemon lime. Friends from across the country are coming. We see Alaina pull up looking beautiful. Or as Latoria told her, if you're going to glam, you got to be glam. And Alaina, she's always glamorous. I think Alaina is so stylish and so pretty. She shows up, she compliments everybody, all these beautiful women. So she's working on Latoria. She complimented Latoria for celebrating her Sweet 16. Switch to the party. The ladies entered the event space. They're all in black party dresses, and they're waiting for Latoria to come in. Alaina says she's giving Whitney Queen of the Night, so she got some. Her black has a little bit of the rock star studs on it. Everybody looks gorgeous. So professional Alaina is telling us she's outside, so I'm glad to hear it. Chloe and Nico arrived dressed in black. They look so cute together. Nico looked the 20-something-year-old version of excited. So I think he was happy to be there and be able to meet the people that he's getting ready to meet. Chloe is happy to have Nico with her. Everybody, this is Nico. LeBrina jumped up. You're so cute. We get LeBrina in a confessional saying, when I saw them, I can see the love between them. So she's glad to see them. And you can see just from whenever they had this, I don't know the time frame, but whenever they had the conversation where they sat down together, you could see, and Chloe alluded to, there is a lightness. The weight is gone of what was going on between her and Nico. And I'm so happy about it because it comes through the screen. It really does. So LeBrina's glad to see them together. You can see the love between him and Chloe. I agree. We show scenes of the party. That party looked amazing. Latoria, chef's kiss. That was an amazing party. We see Chloe and Nico at the table. Chloe's like, look at me and Nico. We at the casino table. They're gambling. They're laughing. So we get confessional Chloe again. She's telling us, look at us. We at the casino table. We having a good time. Everybody's waiting for the woman of the hour, who is Latoria, celebrating 16 years in Lemon Lime. Latoria says she's going to have an H-Town entrance. She has her, I think they call them swag cars, but all these different cars. Kind of a red carpet. I don't think it was actually red, but you could walk where people could see the outfit. She had her grill in. Okay, Latoria. She had a sparkly dress. She greets all her friends. Latoria has a lot of friends, and they were proud of her. She's in a sparkly dress, looking gorgeous. Greets all the ladies. They all hug her, welcome her. And then she said she got to get into her next outfit. They were like, next outfit? She says, yeah. The dress was the entrance, and The next outfit is coming up. It is a sparkly still, but it's a one-shoulder jumpsuit. So Latoya was doing it big for her Sweet 16. She gets in the middle of the floor. She had everyone attention. She said, I'm just going to read. So she starts to read her accomplishments, all of the big name companies that she worked for, celebrities, things that she's accomplished. She thanks her dad. Um, the supporters, she starts to kind of get emotional. Her supporters, there was not a dry eye. They were crying with her. Latoya had a face full of tears. One of her friends finally walked up and gave her a handkerchief because Latoya is saying that her dad was her hero. And she said one of their last conversations is, he said to her, baby, you've done a lot. And people have no idea what is behind the scenes and what you carry on your back. And that's true. When you see some of these events, if it's done right, you don't see everything that goes on behind the scenes. It just looks like it came together and it was perfect. And this Sweet 16 was gorgeous like that. So she says, with much prayer and consideration, they give us a cliffhanger. They come back, and Latoya tells us that she has left Houston Public Relations Entertainment. She wants to pursue community-based initiatives and passion projects that are going to benefit the next generation. So that is amazing. She's only 35 and she's looking to people behind her, like Nico's age, Pop's age. That's amazing for her, for her city, for everyone. So the audience is like, what? Somebody yells out, that's it. So I wrote that. I think that's so timely. It's so selfless. It's inspiring. So she is focusing on Rain, which is the restaurant we saw her open, and also her personal goals. She wants to be married. She wants to have children. So Latoya, she's doing the right thing. This is a chapter that's closing for her, another one that is opening. She announces the Sweet 16 performer. He is a rapper, young star. He's performing something called Move Something. And the ladies right away, y'all, you know how they do. They start moving something, starting with Chloe. LeBrina's dropping it all the way down, dropping it. We have Alaina, Ro, Muneera, Latoya. All the ladies drop it and they move something. The party looks so fun. We get a confessional of all the ladies encouraging. We have one from LeBrina. Um, get one from Chloe, encouragement, congratulations. We get one from Ro, encouragement, congratulations. And then we get more party scenes. We see Latoya introduce Nico to Lil Flip. Lil Flip, we find out, is a rapper who went to school with Chloe. He also has a record label. He called it Up Above. It's his record label. I wrote down Chloe, let him talk. So Chloe is asking for advice. What advice would you give someone just entering the business? Nico looks interested. He looks excited, but kind of the 20-something-year-old version of that. So he kind of standing there. Chloe's talking Lil Flip's ear off. Latoya says, well, why don't y'all exchange each other's IG? And Lil Flip said, well, I like to connect the old school way, so I'm going to give you my number. I hope Nico uses that number and just calls him to just maybe go into the studio, shadow, see if he needs anything. Just be around it. Just be around it. So I'm excited that Chloe, Latoya, that they were able to do this for Nico, because Nico's first appearance, I'm on record. I didn't care for that at all. I love this. This is exactly the platform that he should have and the way he should be presented. So I'm excited for Nico, and he looks excited. So Latoya gets the DJ, start the party up again. We get a confessional of Chloe saying that she is connected to powerful women, and as a mother, she wants to put Nico in rooms that he is supposed to be in, as she should. I love that. This get it out the mud thing among some of us is wrong. Other people don't do that, not to the degree that we do. And I'm glad that there is equal amount of us saying, no, we're not going to do that. As long as you need nurturing, 18 or more, I don't care. You're going to get it. So they're all swaying to the music. I think the song was actually something about sway, sway. I don't know if it's a Houston thing, but it was fun. They were all swaying, everybody. So we get a confessional from Latoya saying these ladies have become her safe space and her sisterhood. And if her dad were there, he'd be dancing with them. And she knows that her dad is proud of her. This whole scene was really touching, and it was shot beautifully. The party looked like so much fun. And I'm glad to see Latoya be able to come to an end, start a beginning, and know that her father's proud of her. So we get a meeting of the married ladies. We get LeBrina, Muneera, and Alaina. They come together. They're discussing their upcoming girls' trip. They're excited about it. Alaina's never been on one. So LeBrina set it up because she said they are wives, they're mothers, they're always so busy pouring into other people. They need this. So Muneera was talking about that. When she spoke to Alaina, she felt like a weight lifted. She's in a better place as a mom and a wife because now her mother and her husband Norm are getting along together. We get a confessional from Muneera saying she wants to be in a vulnerable space and it's not easy, but she's trying to get there. I'm glad to see Muneera opening up a little bit because I don't know, I wasn't seeing enough of Muneera, and I feel like her story is just as intriguing and valid as the other ladies, all six of them. I like all six of this cast, and I want to know more about all of them. So, they discussed that Alaina has finally set up joint counseling for Josh. So next we get the scene. Alaina shows up first to the counselor. How you show up separate to your marriage counseling? I don't know about this, everybody. I just don't know. So Alaina gets to talk to the doctor a few minutes before Josh even gets there. She says they are not progressing as quickly as she thought they would. And oh, let me go back to the scene. Let me go back from the therapist scene. I'm sorry, y'all. While they were still talking, Alaina was saying that she's validating her feelings, and she's saying that it's okay for her to kind of put herself first. LeBrina says you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but let me ask you, if therapy does not work, then what? Alaina gets kind of an answer like, she's gonna cross that bridge when she come to it. But LeBrina asks her, do you feel you deserve more? And Alaina answer immediately, absolutely. LeBrina, being the friend that she is, says, period. That's exactly what I want to hear. Me too, because I feel like, I don't know, Alaina trying to protect Josh, trying not to say too much, trying to still appear perfect in a certain way. Of course things aren't progressing the way that they should. So Alaina says she's evolving as a wife. She has new boundaries and she wants to go forward. So LeBrina says something about Rome was not built in a day. We find out that Josh has that tatted on him, but he wants to cover it. Okay, Josh. So next we get the scene with the couple, Josh and Alaina. Alaina shows up first. I don't know why Josh came separately. I don't know if it was late, but he certainly showed up after Alaina did. So the doctor even asked her, where's the other half? He gets there. She says the doctor's glad to see them both. She asked him, okay, Alaina wanted to know, I want to know, what's changed your mind? Josh, to me, he always looks like somebody has called him to the principal's office, and then some of his talk is like double speak. So he's saying he wanted to lean into what God has for them. He's a more quiet type. He's trying to lean into what's important. He wants to stay in the house, but wanted the things between them to stay in house, but that's not working. He wants them to one day be extremely happy with each other. So, Josh, if you want things to remain in house, they should always have remained in house. We don't know what he's done yet. Alaina gives him the chance to kind of put it on the table. She looks extremely frustrated that he does not. We get from him that he's messed up. And Alaina had to interject and say, we've been struggling about 3 years. This is not something that happened years ago. We find out that Alaina feels like she set the tone for her marriage when she still married Josh after he cheated during the engagement. I'm sure she's right about that. So we get the doctor asking, what does Josh want from this? What does he want from this marriage counseling? Because we know he was reluctant at first. He wanted to lean into individual counseling, but then we find out that the man had only been to one session. So now, okay, they are there together. We find out from Josh that he wants Alaina to wake and feel safe with her husband emotionally. So I don't know. I don't know. Alaina speaks about Josh cheating during the engagement, and that has opened up her mistrust. She never healed it. And in the marriage, she's constantly being triggered. Josh saying he freaked out. And the therapist asks, what are the things that have happened? Josh hems and haws, y'all. This is going to go on another week. And Alaina, she did look disappointed because honestly, I'm getting tired of this. We kind of know what it is. She's protecting Josh. Josh doesn't want to put it out there, so they played around for 8-9 episodes. So in the preview, we see on their trip, to somewhere else in Texas at the Black Winery. There is a chef. Chloe's flirting with the chef, telling him she knows he works out. He's like, yeah, he does. Alaina sitting there judging. Mind your business, Alaina. Chloe says she is single. And Alaina had the nerve to say, does he know that? The only J that Alaina needs to worry about is Josh. Don't worry about Jordan. Chloe is single. So next we get Muneera in that conversation that was teased before with Alaina, saying, I can't even get my thoughts out without being cut off. And then Alaina being kind of dismissive, telling Muneera to bring it down a notch. And I'm looking forward to this scene because Muneera appeared to be speaking in the same conversational tone that Alaina was. Alaina can be a little passive aggressive, and she got smoke for everybody but Josh. But I'm still be a little protective of Alaina because of what she's going through. But I need her to direct some of that energy to Josh because she's a little kitten around Josh, and she's a tiger with anybody else. So then we see Muneera saying, you know, my heart, and Alaina claiming she's getting to know her, which had to be hurtful because we've seen Muneera and Alaina have a couple of sit downs where they kind of bond and they talk to each other. Elena's been in Muneera's house. We just had a lunch where we were able to look at LeBrina, Muneera, and Alaina kind of bonding. So this snarky Alaina is a trip. And if this was another good episode, y'all, this was a 10 out of 10. I love this episode. Heart and Hustle Houston, I love this show a lot. And I would love this to be the number one show on OWN. This is season 1. It's episode 7. And it's called The End of an Era. So that refers to Latoria and her tying up her public relations business career in a nice little bow and then branching out into more community-based, community-involved type events. So this is wonderful. Everyone showed up in this episode. I was happy to see everyone in the confessional. Glad to see Muneera on the scene. The therapy session, that marriage session with Josh and Alaina, I don't know. I guess next week they'll stretch it out another week and we'll get what actually is going on. We can all speculate. I don't really know. I'm really not all that interested in it. I can imagine. I don't think his story is any different from anybody else's. I'm glad Elena's getting to a place where she feels like she can move on if Josh wants to continue to drag his feet. So thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra for my Heart and Hustle Houston recap opinion of season 1, episode 7, End of an Era. I hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend, what's left of it, and I will see you in the YouTube streets. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.